Hello everyone, and today I'm very excited to be building a web application with you using Node.js, Express, and our Froala Editor SDK for Node.js, with a focus on implementing the CodeView plugin, installing this in a Node.js application, well specifically an Express application, and this setup allows us for server-side processing of Froala content while providing the CodeView functionality on the client side. So let's start by setting up our project. So let's create a new directory and initialize a project. We can do so by creating, for example, a Froala Node.js SDK demo code view. And then let's go to that, code view, Node.js SDK demo code view. And then let's init npm here, say yes to all. You clear this up just for this demo. And then let's install Express and the editor. We can do so by typing npm install Express and WYSIWYG editor node SDK. This is to install the Froala Editor SDK for Node. So let's go to Visual Studio Code and our application. So for first things first, let's create an app.js as an entry point for our server code and import the necessary files. So as a standard Express application, I just type it here. It's Express. Express and it's back. So what this does is it allows us to serve static files from a public directory, but I'll continue with the code for now. Froala. App as cons apps equals Express. The port set it to, let's say, 2000, the generic one. And this is where we will be serving our static files. Static files. You can say so by saying app.use, express, static, and public. And then let's go app.use, where Froala is, press static, join their name, and we'll point to the node modules, which will contain Froala. Which actually reminds me to install Froala as well here. Install editor. Just so this has so this will be installed here as Froala editor. Yep. And then let's set up our, so let's serve our index.html file. So And there you go. And then let's actually add another one here called let's send the response back as JSON and HTML. Go. And let's create one to start the server. And so basically, this serve static files from the public library, no, public directory, and serve Froala editor files from the node modules directory. Provide a route for our main HTML index file, and demonstrate server-side usage for Froala editor using the get HTML route. So for now, let's create now the new folder called public, which we set it in the app.js one, and then create an index.html. I'm not going to bore you with to creating HTML, so I'm going to copy what I created earlier here. But what this does is obviously I included the styles of Froala Editor for CSS. I created a div ID with an ID of editor. So this is where the Froala editor will be initialized, and the HTML preview for the server-side rendering that we do. And Froala editor uh, JavaScript files at the end, along with another file that you will create, which is main.js under public. So create another folder called JS, and then go create another main.js file, and then let's add some code. So first things first, let's add an event listener and load this one. Create the editor. Set it to the ID that we added earlier here in our index.html file. And let's enable the plugin, which we discussed earlier that it should be the CodeView plugin just for this demonstration's purposes. But again, this can be any plugin that you want. Plugins enabled. Set up. So let's make that and CodeView dot update. Let's create a function to accommodate this. So this function, what it does is it updates the HTML preview when CodeView is updated. So let's document that get element by ID, which we have set earlier as HTML preview, dot text content, and this dot code view dot get. And then let's say that when it's initialized, we call a function that fetches the initial content from the server. So fetch, and the route that we added earlier, which is get HTML, then The response of that would be, let's convert it to JSON. Then the data would be this.html. So let's break this down for demonstration's sake. So we created a new Froala Editor instance with the ID editor. We enabled the CodeView plugin. And we also added this one, the CodeView keep active buttons. It keeps the select all button in the active CodeView mode. And we've set up 2 event listeners called CodeView update and initialized. So now let's start the server and see if it works. Clear app.js. Let's go to localhost then. Why is it not working? Let's debug. I found the issue here. The IntelliSense of VS Code automatically added this, but I remove this, save this, and run it again. No app.js. Let's go back there. And here we go. For example, I'll type hello there. And let's make this bold. And then we go here in more miscellaneous. Click on that, you can CodeView. And you can see it there. And you can see as well, this is a server-side rendering that we did. It added what I added here under it. Since if you remember, I added in an HTML code, the HTML preview. And that's it. So to recap, so this setup allows users to seamlessly switch between visual editing and HTML editing. So CodeView is really cool plugin for Froala, and I use it sometimes to create some boilerplate HTML code for me if I don't feel like writing that much HTML code. So we've successfully created the web application that integrates Froala with the CodeView plugin directly in the browser. So our setup basically demonstrates how to initialize a Froala editor with CDN resources, enabling using the CodeView plugin, using the Froala Editor SDK for Node, and real-time HTML preview using the CodeView plugin for Froala, and server-side rendering. So this is a browser-based setup that's a lightweight, powerful foundation for your projects.